In just 2 days' time, you're invited to join us for the FBP Family Meetup that is happening on Friday, April the 12th at Philex 2019. If you're in the fitness industry and you're in Sydney for Philex, then I'd love you to come along and join us. For full details, make sure you listen in after the main interview today. You're listening to episode 227 of the Fitness Business Podcast. I'd like to thank this month's premier podcast partner, Tribe Team Training. Tribe Team Training are the world-class leaders in small group training experiences. You can earn unprecedented profit, gain guaranteed results for your members, and ensure the very best small group training education for your coaches. Contact Tribe Team Training today and have a conversation to see just how much opportunity there is at your fitness facility. All you need to do is go to tribeteamtraining.com or click on the link in today's show notes. Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to this week's show. Today I'm joined by Andrea Hovell, the co-owner of Healthier Bookkeeping, which is an accounting business that caters specifically for the health and fitness industry. Now, I'm sure that many of you would agree that as fitness professionals, managing the financial side of our business isn't always one of our favorite things to do. But it is something that every single one of us should be across and at least have a good understanding on how things are tracking. So in the same way that you might do a fitness assessment on a new client, I actually asked Andrea to run us through a quick health checkup to ensure that we're on top of the key metrics within our business and to make sure that we can be aware of any red flags to look out for. As a special bonus this week, Andrea has also prepared a one-page monthly financial health checklist, which you can download for free from fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Before we hear from Andrea today, I first wanted to share with you a catch-up that I recently had with Justin Tamsett, the Managing Director of Active Management. This year, he celebrates 30 years in the fitness industry, and he has a simple why, which is to reduce the healthcare costs across the globe by getting more people moving and moving more often. Long-time listeners would have heard JT on the show because he has joined us on 15 episodes. So if you want to check those out, I've put the links to each of those shows in today's show notes. Now, international listeners may have also heard JT speak at URSA, as he has been there for the last 14 years. And this week, he will be speaking for the 20th consecutive year at Philex in Sydney, Australia. He is definitely one of the world's best thinkers in our industry, and he's not afraid to take some risks, just like starting this podcast almost 4 years ago. He now has a new business adventure that is launching in Australia in July this year, and he's going to tell us all about it right now. Welcome along, JT. So what is this new adventure you've been working on?
So we are running the first ever Fitness Industry Technology Summit on July the 25th and 26th in Sydney. Never seen, never held, nothing like this ever before in Australia.
Well, that sounds very exciting. So tell us a little bit more about the Fitness Industry Technology Summit.
Can you tell I'm a little bit excited about this?
I can tell, just a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Last year I went to the MotionSoft event and it was a tremendous 3 days where we drilled deep into technology. And with MotionSoft not having a product here in Australia, I thought this was an opportunity for us to do something different and unique in the industry to help our industry catch up with the consumer. The consumer knows so much about technology that as an industry, we're playing catch up with them. So this event is designed purely to help you improve your business so it becomes more efficient, more effective, and more profitable using technology.
Now, JT, I believe you've got 4 major sponsors for the event who are Gym Sales, MyZone, Debit Success, and Higher Logic. So tell us what they're going to be sharing at the summit.
They're going to be sharing what people don't expect. I guess when you've got a sponsor, you expect them to pitch their product. These guys are under a strict brief, and the brief is to share real-time data for best business practices. So we want to know from them and all of their customers that they work with, what is the data that's collected to tell us what is the best day to do billing? What is the best result around retention? How long is the sales process? So these are fireside chats where I'm going to be asking them questions around the data that they collect from their customers to help business owners make the best business decisions based on data, not based on gut feel.
That sounds like some great sessions, JT. Now, I've got to say that knowing you, there is always something just a little bit unique and a little bit different that happens at your events. So tell us, other than an event that is solely about tech, is there anything else a little bit unique about the Fitness Industry Technology Summit?
I got 3 wow factors for you. The first one is we've got 18 speakers from outside the fitness industry. I reckon that's a pretty good factor.
That's a great start.
That's a good start. The second thing is we have got 3 bonus video presentations that will go to people who register for the event prior to the event. And they are Brian O'Rourke, Sam Mutimer, and Alan Leach. Brian, world-renowned, will be talking about trends, opportunities, and threats in our industry from technology. Sam's going to be talking about the role that influencers play in order to get business growth. And Alan Leach is going to do a sensational presentation on digital marketing. That alone is worth coming along to the Fitness Industry Tech Summit just to hear those 3.
I completely agree. So you've given us 2 wows. What's the third one?
The third wow is that we have a VIP experience. And the VIP experience includes a Barry's Bootcamp workout, the new studio in Martin Place in Sydney. We're going to be hitting up the studio for a workout together, then sitting down and talking to studio manager about how they run their business. Then literally walk down the street to Fitness First Bond Street, where we're going to hear about the technology that they use inside their business called GymKit. And GymKit is the way that the Apple Watch speaks to the cardio equipment. So we're going to learn about the impact that that's had on their business. Pretty exciting, those 3 wow factors, I think, not to mention on the Thursday night, we have a Christmas in July special dinner.
Well, they are all fantastic reasons to get along to the Fitness Industry Technology Summit. So let's get into the detail of things now. So tell us, how much is it to attend the event?
Okay, so it's $4.95 for a standard registration and $5.45 for the VIP registration. We only have 150 tickets, 50 of the VIPs, 100 of the standard. Remember, with the VIP, you get a Barry's Bootcamp workout. We get to go down to Fitness First, talk there, plus you receive a free MyZone belt. The standard registration includes the dinner on the Thursday night, as well as all the food you can eat on the Friday, plus all the sessions, including those 3 bonus sessions from Brian, Sam, and Alan.
That is a great value offer, JT. So how do people actually register for the event?
Okay, they need to head to fitnessindustrytechsummit.com.au, fitnessindustrytechsummit.com.au, and when they register, if they use the code ACTIVE, ACTIVE, they will save $100 because they're part of the Fitness Business Podcast family.
We love a special offer. So just to recap quickly, they need to head to fitnessindustrytechsummit.com.au. Make sure that you go ahead and use that code ACTIVE, ACTIVE, to save $100 on your registration. So before we wrap up today, JT, just remind us one last time the dates of the event.
July 25 and 26 in Sydney.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, I'm really excited to attend the Fitness Industry Technology Summit, and I really look forward and hope to see lots of the FBP family there. JT, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks again to JT for sharing that news about the Fitness Industry Technology Summit. Now it's time for this week's show, but first, a huge thank you to our podcast partner, Tribe Team Training. Tribe Team Training spends every minute of every day specializing and developing the very best team training experiences available for your club, coaches, and members. You can find out more by going to tribeteamtraining.com or click on the link in today's show notes. Enjoy this week's show with my special guest, Andrea Hovell. Andrea, welcome along and thank you for joining me on the show today.
Absolutely.
Now, today you're going to walk us through a financial health checkup for our fitness business. So what's the first step to finding out if our business is actually financially healthy?
So the first thing we want to do is we're just going to pull our three major financial statements. So your balance sheet, your profit and loss, and your statement of cash flows.
Speaking on behalf of all the non-finance people that are listening, can you go through each of those and just break them down for us so we understand exactly what you mean?
Yeah. So a lot of people are actually pretty intimidated by some of these statements, and they're very, very simple when you just tell people what they actually mean. So the balance sheet is very simply put your assets, which is just what belongs to your business, okay? Your liabilities, which is what your business owes to other people, and then your equity, which is what's left over for you as the owner. Okay. Your profit and loss is, everybody's pretty familiar with that one. It's your sales minus your operating expenses, and then your net profit, right? All the money that you made. And then statement of cash flows is pretty new for most people. And it's not as scary as it sounds. It's literally just how did the money flow in and out of your business, right? How did your cash move?
Okay, so first step in this financial health checkup is to pull those statements. So we've got all of that information. So once we've got that in front of us, I believe there are four main things that we need to keep an eye on. Can you walk us through those areas?
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing we want to do is just make sure that we're pretty sure that all the stuff we have is accurate. And to do that, you just really easily check the net income amount on each one of the statements, make sure that they match. And that's it. That's going to catch any big glaring issues. And then the next step is just take a look at the balance sheet. Okay. We want to look at that equity figure, make sure that it's positive. It's typical for it not to be positive if you're a pretty new business. We just want to make sure that it's at least trending up to the positive. Then we're going to look at your profit and loss. Okay. Make sure obviously that we have a net profit that is positive. And then full disclosure, there's a tiny bit of math involved, but I promise it's really, really easy. We're going to calculate a gross profit margin, which again is not as scary as it sounds. It's just your gross profit. And because we're a service business, mainly I like to subtract out any pay that we take, that we give to our trainers and instructors, and then divide it by the total number of sales. So it's just gross profit minus those wages, divided by total sales, okay? And that's going to give you your gross profit margin, which I like to see at least 30%, no lower than 30%, preferably up towards 40%, okay? And that's just a really fancy way of saying how much money do I have left over to pay my bills and hopefully take a profit from. And then the last one is your statement of cash flows, right? Again, just how your money flowed, your cash flowed in and out of your business. And we're going to take a look at a line called net cash provided by operating activities, which is just how much cash did I actually make or lose for my bank account providing my service. So after we look at all of that stuff, we want to see, again, do I have a positive or increasing equity? Am I profitable? And is my gross margin at least 30%, preferably closer to 40%? And then did I generate positive cash from my services? And if all of that is the case, then I would say you're in pretty good financial shape.
Okay, what a great overview all of those were. So basically we're going through and we're checking those four very distinct areas of our finances. It's going to give us a really good indication if we're healthy or not. Let's take, for example, a case where maybe a fitness facility is looking good on 3 out of those 4 areas. For example, what type of action can they take, or what would you recommend in the case that maybe we're not ticking all of those boxes right now?
Okay, so depending on which one it is, right, these financial statements are there for a reason. So let's just say my cash flow, right, my operating cash flow was negative. You have an itemized list right in front of you now to kind of take a look and see, well, what was it that made that major change? Maybe you made a big tax payment, or you paid bonuses to your employees, right? We want to then look at the information we have in front of us and try and figure out the reason why that's the case.
How frequently do you recommend that we run this financial health check on our business?
I do this for every single one of my clients once a month.
Monthly. Okay.
Yes.
And it allows you obviously to identify if there's any things to look out for, and you can make the changes at the time.
Right. Because like I said, if you see that negative, let's say we see that negative cash flow, your business really can only sustain that for so long if you don't identify the issue. So by doing this, you're catching the issue ahead of time. You're able to drill down and see what's going on, and you can stop it before you start feeling it when you can't pay your rent.
Let's say now we've pulled all of that information, we've got all of that in front of us. What are some other areas or ways that we can utilize that information to benefit our business?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can obviously do some pretty less exciting things like build a budget off of it. But you can also build off your forecasts and track and measure your financial goals. The thing I really like to do is compare, you can compare your business to your competitors, right? You can take those industry numbers and compare them to see how you stack up and find those opportunities where you could and probably should be saving yourself some money.
Okay, so when you say compare against our competitors and have a look at how the industry is going, where do we find that information?
So IHRSA is one of the places you can purchase the information from. They have, I believe the member price is about $995, like $995. And they have a full global report with all kinds of financial information in there of other businesses. Or you can even go pull it from like the franchisee, interested franchisees numbers. You can actually call your corporate headquarters. They can give you information on how other clubs in your area or other clubs around the country are doing.
So if I'm a Anytime Fitness franchisee, for example, I assume that I should already know that I can go to head office and access that type of information from them.
Yeah, they should have like how other clubs, what the average percent of payroll is for other clubs and how much rent they're paying, that kind of stuff.
And now for this week's Fitbispiration.
Okay, Andrea, let's head into our Fitbispiration for today. And can you share with us 3 ways that we can keep our business finances healthy for the long term?
Sure. So typically just by doing this check, we start seeing people make improvements and make better decisions. But I would say first and foremost, get to know your accounting software and be reconciling your account every month. That's someplace we see just a lot of unnecessary errors happening just because, user errors and they're not being kept up with. So we want to make sure we have the best information possible, and that's how you do that. Second, start saving, right? Even if it's just 2 to 5% of your sales, it really just having that cash does make a difference. And then lastly, it's not the most fun answer, but have a budget and use it, because every profitable business that has staying power has a budget.
It's not a fun answer, but it's the one we needed to hear. Andrea, thank you so much. It's been really great just having a quick chat through how to actually do a health check, a financial health check for our fitness business. And I really enjoyed those 3 takeaways that you just shared with us. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, if they want to find out more about how you can do a financial health check for their fitness business, where's the best place for them to contact you?
They can either go to our website at healthierbookkeeping.com, or they can actually just email me directly at andrea@healthierbookkeeping.com.
Excellent. And needless to say, we'll put both of those links in today's show notes. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Gym Sales allows you to plan, implement, and monitor a proactive sales strategy that's automated and uniform. You can give your sales team the tools they need to capture, nurture, and convert new members, which means it's easier than ever before to grow your member base. Make sure you head over to gymsales.net to find out more information. Hi everyone, just a quick reminder that you can download the one-page monthly financial health checklist that Andrea created specifically for fitness professionals. And you can find it on today's show notes page, which is located at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Also, while you're there, why not take a listen and download the ebook from the Financial Intensive series that I recorded with Mike Michalowicz. Mike is the author of books including Profit First and The Pumpkin Plan. This is a brilliant 4-part series where we go into detail about resources to improve your knowledge around financial management. Mike takes us through tips for improving cash flow within your business. We talk about strategies to reduce expenses, and he gives us some ideas on how to stick to your New Year financial resolutions. You can find those podcasts and the ebook to the Financial Intensive shows at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Just go to the Intensive tab at the top of the page.
Precore Quickfire 5.
This week's Precore Quickfire 5 guest is the CEO of Parkrun Australia, Tim Oberg. Hey Tim, a very warm welcome. Thank you for being our guest on the show today.
Chantel, it's great to be here.
We start off with our Precore Quickfire 5. So can you tell everyone, why do you do what you do?
I do what I do for my kids, and I think if through my kids growing up in and around parkrun and an environment where being active and healthy is the normal, then I will have achieved something great as a parent.
And what's one ritual that helps you become better at what you do?
Well, this might sound funny, but it's actually switching off, and I find that making sure that I have a quality time when I'm not working, where I'm not thinking about work, helps me much better when I'm at work.
And are there any apps or systems that you use to stay in control of your workload?
Yes, there is. For the last couple of years, we've used Slack as a means to communicate amongst my staff here in Australia, but also our global team. And we just find it's such a great way to streamline communication and make sure we've got everything happening in the right place.
Slack is a very popular answer to that question. And Tim, are there any books, podcasts or blogs that you would recommend and why?
Yeah, I really enjoy listening to the Tim Ferriss Show. Again, I'm sure that's another popular answer.
It is.
He's also got a couple of great books. And there are, of course, a couple of great parkrun podcasts that are out there as well, one of them being the Parkrun Adventures, which is produced here in Australia. So I like listening to that as well.
Awesome. And give everyone just a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about during your main interview.
So we're going to be talking about, the parkrun organisation globally, where it's come from, how it's grown off the back of, off the smell of an oily rag, as we might say, which is, starting with just a few volunteers and growing into a global organisation.
I'm really looking forward to hearing the story about Parkrun, and I think that it's going to inspire a lot of our listeners out there around the world. So, Tim, thanks for joining us today for the Precore Quickfire 5.
You are more than welcome.
Now, this is your last reminder that the FBP Family Meetup is happening this week, in 2 days' time, as a matter of fact, on Friday, April the 12th at Filex 2019. If you're not familiar with our meetup walks, it's an active networking event. We walk and we talk for 45 minutes and we return back to the water fountain outside the International Convention Centre in Darling Harbour by 6:50 a.m. The meetup is totally free and it's an awesome way to start your day. It's really important that we do know attendance numbers, so please do me a huge favour and jump over to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com, go to the top of the page and click on the tab called Meetup. Then all you need to do is register your details for the Filex walk. Now, if you need any more information whatsoever, please email me directly at chantal@fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Thank you all so much for joining me for this week's show. Don't forget that all the resources and links for today's episode can all be found at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Also, a big thank you to our foundation partner, Active Management. As a listener of this show, you have a special opportunity to work with JT from Active Management. And that means that you can get one session for free when you buy one coaching session. Now, no matter where you are in the world, technology allows him to work with you. So all you need to do is go to activemgmt.com.au/FBP family and work with JT to get more people moving and moving more often. So one more time, that is one free session when you buy one coaching session, and it is exclusive to you, the FBP family. So simply go to activemgmt.com.au/FBP family. Thank you all so much for joining me again for today's episode. And remember, what you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.